Talk about the county commission meeting that took place yesterday. You guys were able to meet, and you're back. I mean, you haven't not met in person. You've been through this whole pandemic. The county commissioners have been meeting in person, at least as long as you've been on the board, right, or on the commission.
Yes, we have. It's been in person. Some of the public comments and stuff, when they happen, have been read by our county manager. The only ones in there, the social distancing is done for the staff that's in the room doing the recording and operating the equipment. It's audio live kind of a deal. You can catch it online.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been pretty careful. It is southeast New Mexico, so I wouldn't stand up and say every absolute precaution has been taken, but read between the lines on that.
I got to eat out in a restaurant for the first time in a long, long time. There was a note on the little board there at the restaurant that I ate at. Well, I went to La Fonda is where I went, and it said 115 days. So I'm guessing it had been 115 days since they could have customers inside. So it's probably, for me, it's been 115 days since I ate inside. And it was weird because there were like other people in the same building with me, and they were all eating and conversing. And our group, we were telling jokes and stories. And I sent a text to all the group yesterday afterwards, and I said, I really enjoyed the time that we had to be able to eat together and have lunch and just talk about stuff. And I think people miss that, and I'm glad that's starting to come back.
Well, I had a very nice meal after church on Sunday, and that's been the first time. Well, we were able to do that kind of in the middle of the deal when the restaurants were allowed to open and everybody spent thousands of dollars stocking up and got to stay open for, I don't remember how long it was. It wasn't long.
Right.
And then they shut everything down again. So that was sometime back during the summer. So, but yeah, it's pretty pleasant. But, I have been to Texas a couple of times, so that I haven't been just without it. But it's very, it makes you wonder, we're allowed to go eat in a restaurant again. I'm a pretty old guy, but I do remember when this used to be a free country.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. No. I hear you. It's been a very stressful time for a lot of folks trying to get through this and do this.
Well, I'm not convinced yet that it has been as helpful as it was intended to be. But
the shutdowns. And,
the shutdowns. You look at some of the other states that didn't shut down, South Dakota, Florida, Texas. I know there's parts of Texas that are having a lot of trouble now, but there are parts that don't have any trouble either. So,
yep.
I think to a certain degree, Colorado and Arizona have pretty well opened up, and we're still playing a colored map kind of a game that I don't know that the information is accurate enough to really make that work equitable.
Sure.
Things like a number like 0.85% comes to mind.
Gee, that was Eddy County a week ago, I guess, or prior to last week. So we missed it by 0.85.
Right after we had 100 new cases in one day.
Yeah, that was kind of a scary deal. And then you look at Guadalupe County, which went back to red. And there's a couple thousand people that live there, so they must have had one person that got a case. And because the population is so small, just having one case or two cases in a small population can push you back into the red again. So that's another thing that has people concerned. The county manager, Mr. Davis, has done a really good job of watching the data. Did he talk to the commissioners yesterday about what he's seeing in the data and what the trends are as far as the positivity rate and the case count is concerned in Eddy County?
Yes, and he has. He has been very on the spot with those numbers. He, the commission and other people, we get a text every day on the new cases and what have you. The main topic of conversation on those texts here a while back was the new math, where they were adding all those numbers up, but that's a different subject. But yeah, he's been very much on top of it and keeps us going. He follows, the big deal right now is we need to get vaccinated. I think a large part of the state is. Carlsbad's kind of slow to come to that end. I know a lot of people are getting vaccinated in Artesia, and it took a while, but with the county and the mayor's input down there, we have set up at the Civic Center in town where every Monday they're doing vaccinations, and a problem we're having now, and I hope people are listening, is getting enough people registered to actually show up and get vaccinated. I think that's the end all on this is, you either get it and get over it, or you need to get vaccinated and develop that immunity so we can all get back to a normal life.
So Mondays at the Walter Gerald's Civic Center in Carlsbad, they're doing a vaccine clinic every Monday?
They are, and all you've got to do is call in, and you can find the numbers on the county website. The city of Carlsbad has got them posted. You have to be registered with the state of New Mexico, and if you show up, you can get them. I know this, I think it was as recently as Monday evening, maybe Tuesday morning, they had some of the open vaccines that they needed to get out. I mean, like 20-something, and they were hunting people to come and get them. So that's happening as well. But, we've done, I think we did 500 one day and a couple hundred last Monday. This particular day before yesterday, I'm not sure what the number was, but
sure.
But it's the county's working there. The vaccine is available if people will pursue it. So
right, and here in Artesia, I think there's like 4 different places where you can get the vaccine. The hospital being, they converted their cafeteria to a vaccine clinic. And they've been processing lots of people every day.
I know there's Carlsbad people going up there. I've actually been vaccinated here in Carlsbad before all this got started. It wasn't through the hospital. And at least I get in trouble. I won't say anymore.
You're fine. Let's put it this way. My sister-in-law, who lives in San Antonio, who's a little older than I am, is still waiting for hers, and she's trying to figure out how I got a vaccine.
Well, you kind of came in that you were signed up, and they had some leftover.
That's right.
Leftover vaccine, and got a phone call and got it done.
Well, that's exactly right, and that goes to your point that you just made a minute ago, is that if you do go ahead and get registered, even though you may not be in the 1A, 1B, or whatever group that is currently eligible, you're exactly right. Once they open up that box, take that out of the deep freeze and open up that box, those vials of vaccine, they have to give them out. They can't just put it back. And if you're signed up, when they get to the end of the list of the people that are eligible, then they start going down the list and calling people to come get the vaccine.
Well, there's always Texas. There's that county commissioner, I'm not going to mention any names, but live on air, he said, and I love telling this story, you can always go to one of the big grocery stores in Texas and get a bag of potato chips and a soda pop and a vaccination. And I think it's been almost that easy at some point in the past. I don't know what they're doing over there now, but
yeah,
you see the big parking lots at the stadiums and at sports stadiums in Houston and Arlington, and they're doing massive amounts of vaccination over there.
Yeah.
And they don't have all the protocols to go through we do over here. So
that's true. That was one of the things that I learned. You have to tell them a lot of stuff about you, health related things, but you have to tell them a lot of stuff about you before they let you in. Eddy County, compared to our neighboring counties, 22.1% of us have had our first shot. Chaves County, it's 25.4%, and Lee County, it's 27.5%. And Lincoln County, 39.7% of those folks have had their first shot. So we're kind of lagging behind our neighboring counties when it comes to getting people in to get their vaccine.
Well, Lee County, they early on were able to deal with one of the hospitals that they're affiliated with over in Lubbock, and they got the process started a lot sooner than some of the rest of us were able to.
Mm-hmm.
And I know our Jennifer Armendariz, I forget the name of the department, but she was really pushing hard on all that. She pursued all options to try to get that going over here, and it just would not work out because we did not have that affiliation. But the county has really gone to great lengths to make the vaccine available over here. But Hobbs did have an advantage on us in the beginning, and that may have something to do with those numbers. But
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does.
And I wonder about Lincoln County. I've been listening. You give the numbers pretty regular. We'll all have a few, and Lincoln County's got one. I wonder, does that have something to do with the altitude? They seem to be doing a lot better than the rest of the counties.
They do. They had 0 cases yesterday, and their case count's been pretty low. I would not be surprised if they go to turquoise next week. And then same thing in Lee County. Lee County's been pretty low, kind of the same thing that you're saying. And they had 3 cases yesterday, and they're green. So we could have Lee County and Lincoln County, our neighboring counties to the northwest and to the east, could all be in the turquoise.
Our numbers are looking good. Is it a possibility if they continue to look good, we could skip green and go to turquoise?
Well,
I think I probably know the answer to that.
Well, at this point, Fred, all we can do is speculate. We do not know what is in the mind of our leaders, do we?
No. And that may be a good thing. But
yeah, that's great. Hey, can you stick around for a little bit?
I can.
All right. We're going to take a break. We've got some news here. We've got some Eric Butler sports. And let's see. Our legislative update. That's what we have. So Fred's going to stick around with us. We'll be back with more on our report coming up next.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The Chavez County Sheriff's Office